My family is in danger.
Of all the things I've had to do for this ranch, he takes a cake.
Anything worth having is worth fighting for.
Yellowstone is over as a show, but its legacy continues through the spin-off series. Especially the prequels continue to shine in the entire franchise, as they not only add to the glory of Yellowstone, but also manage to differentiate themselves from it by establishing their own unique characters and storylines. 1923 deserves a special shout-out on that note, as it is about to release its second season. And based on the newly released trailer, we finally know how and why this season will be the most crucial installment in the Yellowstone franchise so far. So, let's talk about it. First and foremost, it is clear that this season promises to be even more action-packed than the last, with the Duttons facing threats from multiple directions. The trailer, which aired during the NFL AFC Division Championship game on January 19th, shows the family battling enemies who want to take away everything they've worked for years. What's at stake is the future of the Dutton Ranch itself. Of course, as of 2025, we all know that these efforts are actually in vain, simply because the Duttons will lose the ranch eventually, either way. And yes, watching them fight for it, risking their lives for it will be a lot more emotional and heartbreaking now that we know it is all for nothing. Nevertheless, the show must go on, and this story still has a lot of unanswered questions and gaps that need to be fulfilled. So, 1923. Season 2 is an absolute must-watch regardless of Dutton's eventual outcome. According to the trailer, we pick up right where we left off in Season 1, and things aren't looking any easier for Jacob and Kara. The winter in Montana is unforgiving, and it's not just the harsh weather that's causing trouble. The Duttons are under attack by a group of wealthy elites, led by a business tycoon who's determined to turn the land into a playground for the rich. His name, as I'm sure a lot of you know, is Donald Whitfield, and he's not playing games. He wants the land, and he's willing to do anything to get it. We got a glimpse into his ambitions in Season 1, but in Season 2, it seems like he gets even bolder, forms a larger group of elites to attack the Duttons, and has even less shame or dignity. In fact, you can feel the danger in every scene of the trailer whenever this man shows up. The trailer also makes it clear that before Spencer arrives at Montana, his reputation reaches to Donald's ears, and he is not happy about it. His henchman, Banner Creighton, knows Spencer's reputation as a war hero, and he isn't taking any chances. "Kill him," Banner says, with a cold certainty that sends chills down my spine. It's clear, these men will stop at nothing to get what they want. But Jacob Dutton isn't someone who can be easily pushed around. There's a moment in the trailer where Whitfield tries to negotiate, saying he's trying to prevent a war here. And Jacob's response is simple, but chilling. "It ain't preventable. That's the Duttons for you. Whether you like them or not, you have to admit that they are all stubborn, determined, and always ready to fight for what's theirs. Even when things seem hopeless, they're not giving up without a fight." You can see Kara in action too, and I have to say she's a force to be reckoned with. She's armed, looking out over the ranch, and muttering about the sacrifices she's made. It's clear that defending their land is a matter of survival for her, and I can't wait to see how far she'll go to protect her family. I know that we are all obsessed with Beth and Elsa over here when it comes to Dutton women, but I feel like by the time Season 2 of 1923 ends, we will all go crazy after Kara, crowning her as one of the most badass Dutton women ever to exist. So, what about Spencer? Like, is he in Montana? Will he ever arrive in Montana? What he has been doing while his family is in this massive fight? The time is running out here. Well, in the trailer, the tension is palpable as we watch him race to reunite with his family and stop the plans of the elites who want to take everything from them. In the trailer, we see him in various difficult conditions, none of which takes place in Montana. It is clear that he will spend at least the first half of the season on the road. So, once again, we will see Spencer jumping from one adventure to the other. He is even confronted by a gunman at one point, which just goes to show how dangerous his mission really is. Even though I love to watch this man in action, I'm also kind of sick of seeing him on the road. Like, come on now. We already watched him on the road for an entire season. Do we need to watch him on the road for 5 more episodes? Like, really? This essentially means that he won't have enough time left to spend with his family after all. Or perhaps the entire family will be wiped out once he arrives in Montana, and he will have to rebuild the ranch over on their ashes. This would make 1923 Season 2 even more tragic than 1883, that's for sure. But it would also make it more realistic and unforgettable in my opinion. But as always, Feel free to disagree with me in the comments, please. Just like in season 1, at the heart of this season is the relationship between Spencer and Alexandra. When we left off in season 1, they had just married, but they were separated by distance and circumstance. Spencer is halfway around the world, and Alexandra is back in Europe, doing everything she can to find him. Turns out she is a true royalty, which makes things even more complicated. I mean, let's admit it, the fact that she's the Countess of Sussex only adds to the tension. It's almost like a fairy tale gone wrong. She's a woman with a title, a life full of privileges, but she walks away from all of that for Spencer. Julia Schleipfer, who plays Alexandra recently, said the following about her journey. She's been very oppressed by this family, who won't let her decide what she wants to do with her life or who she's allowed to love. I agree that it's heartbreaking, but it's also beautiful. Alexandra's commitment to Spencer, despite everything she's been taught to believe, makes her character so strong, and I'm rooting for them both. By the way, is it just me, or is Alexandra seen with holding a bunch of bags over her belly in the trailer? Like, could this be because she is hiding her pregnancy when running? Or am I reading a bit too much into the scene? One thing is certain though, she is on the run and she does her best to reach Spencer. So, just like her husband, she is also on the road once again. As you can see, the stakes are incredibly high this season. It's not just about the land, it's about everything the Duttons have fought for. I don't know about you guys, but Kara's words in the trailer really hit home for me. Anything worth having is worth fighting for. You can feel the weight of that statement as the family prepares to defend their home against the incoming storm. We also got brief glimpses into Tiana, Elizabeth, and Jack. But honestly, unlike our hopes, it seems like they will continue to have limited screen time in season 2 as well. Because the trailer did not even care about them enough to show anything special about them. We saw Tiana on the road, very clearly upset and in a bad situation. We saw Jack and Elizabeth giggling together, happy as always. So feel free to fight me in the comments, but based on the trailer alone, I don't see anything to get excited about these characters in season 2. But we will see. We also know that this season will include a lot of historical context, bringing in real-world events like the Spanish flu, Prohibition, and the Great Depression. I love how Sheridan ties in actual history with the Duttons story. I'm curious how he will link all these real-life tragedies to the Duttons in the new season. Season 2 of 1923 will not conclude the Dutton saga, but it will fill a very important gap in their history, and I'm counting down the days until it drops on February 23rd, 2025. There will be 8 episodes in total, and I cannot wait for it. For more weekly updates on the Yellowstone franchise, make sure to like and follow. If you want to know more about the upcoming Beth and Rip sequel, watch the video on the screen.